Good morning, cyber friends. Meter Man coming back at you again from Walks Music. Yet another word for the day. Tuesday morning edition. We want to give God all the glory and praise and honor for life, health, and strength. And we thank Him for as well as it is. And we also thank Him, especially for each and every one of you cyber friends. You know who you are. This morning, as you see the title of my video, it says, When to Leave Well Enough Alone. When to leave well enough alone. I give credit to this here topic to my cousin. Matter of fact, my cousin, he's a pastor. Matter of fact, his name is Michael Walker, and lives not too far from me here, about maybe 20 minutes, in a town called Edison, Georgia. Like I said, I give him respect when I call him Reverend, but his name is Michael Walker, and I never will forget. I was playing at one of his former churches as well as mine as well, because I left there myself, and he was on program they were preaching on. I think it was a program called the Four Gospel Writers, and it was at my first Sunday church at that particular time, which was the Mount Nebo Missionary Baptist Church in Morgan, Georgia. And I happened to have to be there that afternoon, that evening rather, at that program. And I never will forget, me and Michael, Reverend Walker, and my other pastor, I call him my pastor as well, and still call him my pastor, Reverend Jack Johnson. His son is Justin Johnson, which I just placed on YouTube here a few days ago. I call him Little Jack. But at any rate, I never will forget, we were talking about how choir members and certain people, they carry on, they act, and they seem like they're never satisfied. And no matter how close you get to the progress of a thing and getting close to finalizing certain things, there's always going to be somebody not going to understand. And then I never will forget what Reverend Mike Walker said. Mike said, sometimes we just don't know when to leave well enough alone. In other words, and everybody got a great kick out of that, especially me, but I paid close attention to it, because it meant so much to me when he said we need to learn how to leave well enough alone. You know, people, in these years I've been back in this area, I never planned to come back to this area the way I did. But nevertheless, many of the plans of a man, but it's God's purpose that's going to prevail. And but I never did. I never did plan to come back into this area as a musician. In other words, when I left here, and I'm in the military, I went to college, and matter of fact, I thank God for that. I thank God for the education that I have. I fell short of some things because of the military and my own doing, and I left college just a few electives shy of finishing up a double major. But nevertheless, I still thank God, because what is there, you can't take it away. In other words, I'm thinking about what Reverend Michael Walker said, let well enough alone. So when I came back to this area, it was unplanned, not planned at all. But nevertheless, I decided that I would make lemonade out of the lemons that I thought I had received. I decided I would try to make lemonade. So it's just like my keyboard here. In other words, as long as I play that pattern, it's going to stay the same unless I change. When we need something to change, we must first act. Now, the way I say that, sometimes people will try to coerce you into doing things that you know that that's not your calling. It is not your will. When anytime some person try to make you go against your own free will, that's witchcraft. Now, I know some people say, now, man, what you talking about? Witchcraft. But yes, when people try to manipulate your will, no matter how they try to do it, no matter what measures they take to try to manipulate your free will, that's witchcraft. Whether it be in a marriage or whatever, or just your personal everyday business. I mean, I'm a PC tech as well as a minister of music. I got musicians. See, I was a business and music major, and I studied both. Music is my profession. A lot of people don't realize that, but music and business, those are my two professional areas. But nevertheless, I am a PC tech by choice, because of the fact that I did learn electronics when I was in the military. That was my MOS. I worked on the M1A1 tank, the turret, up there with the fire computers, all the backup, NBC backup system, all that electronic stuff, all that stuff that I had to learn how to not only use them but repair them at a moment's notice. So I got good education and a firm foundation in electronics while in the military. And I just brought that and carried it forward to the PC. And so when I work on PCs, I got a running knowledge of the PC tech and electronic music technology. I can repair these keyboards just as well as play them. But that's just something that you don't hear me talk about too much. But I decided this morning I would do that because of some things that have transpired within the church and what I see in the church. A lot of time we got the pastors of churches, male and female, they have a vision. And because of the fact their vision is not understood by certain quote-unquote big shot people in the church, those big shot people try to use their influence to either stop the progress. Nevertheless, sometimes even kill the individual person, even if nothing but kill their reputation. And that's witchcraft. Anytime you try to use your personal finance because you might have quote-unquote a little bit more money than another, you try to use your money and your influence to coerce a person into doing something against their will. That's witchcraft, and God will repay. And that's what I want to say this morning. I will never, in other words, I've had that same thing that happened to me because of the fact that I would not bow down. And I know, see, in other words, people, you have to know your limitation. Every man must know, or woman must know their limitation. When we take on more than we can chew, in other words, my great-grandmama used to say, boy, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. In other words, when we bite off more than we can chew, we can look for trouble down the road. You can only do so much. And when you spread yourself too thin, the sandwich is not going to be that great. So what we need to do is, no matter how much money a person may have or influence they have, when they try to use that against you because of the fact that you fail to do what they want you to do, and then they decide that they're going to try to hurt your reputation or hurt your business, some of them, they will stop even using your service, but just because of the fact that you wouldn't do what they wanted you to do. Guess what? Forget them and move on. God will bless you anyway. See, I've never been one you could not manipulate me when it came to stuff like that. Never been one to do it, and I'm not going to start now. In other words, you must know your limitation. And just like my cousin Michael Walker said, Reverend Walker said, you need to know how to leave well enough alone. And people, I believe that to the heart. And so this morning, I just want to say to the Bible study, we thank you, we love you, and we are always praying for you. And like I say, don't worry about people when they try to manipulate you and do you evil because of the fact that you don't see things the way they see them. You keep doing what God said do regardless. God's going to take care of you. You don't have to worry about people's schemes. Because remember, Haman schemed against Mordecai. And the gallows that Haman built, he was hung by. The one that he fixed for Mordecai, he was hung by that gallows himself. So don't you worry about it. God will always see by his own. And you don't have to, and believe it or not, when people are only doing certain things for you just because they feel that they can control you or manipulate you, you don't need those kind of people in your life, no way. Take it from me, man. I know, been there, done that. So I just want to say, until I change position and notes, I will still get the same thing. As long as I play this keyboard a certain way in the key of G minor, it's going to be G minor. If I want to go to C minor, I'm going to have to change the position. I'm going to have to change the note. So when you want something that you never had, you got to do something you've never done before. Point blank. And remember, always remember, if God has told you to do something, don't worry about nobody else. Don't you look for what many men say. What I say don't have no bearing. If God done told you to move, you move. Don't worry. Don't wait for many men to say anything. God has told you. That's a higher voice. There's none any higher than God. So with that being said, we just say we hope to see some of you tonight at Bible study. If the Lord will, those of you can make it, make it. Those of you that don't make it, well, we still going to love you in that way. But Bible study will go on if I can get online. That being said, whatever you get into, if God is not in it, it's best that you come out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. This is Middleman saying peace. Good day.